Meeting etiquette for tonight. Please turn on your silent mode for your phone, mute when not speaking, display video, and pin timer prior to delivering a speech, and sit in a good posture, relax, and enjoy. So please be also aware that we have a video consent release, which means that by attending this meeting, you agree to the privacy of Toastmaster International, as well as the unassociated remote hosting service. And some of your personal information, such as name and image, may be shared with other meeting participants and will be recorded by Toastmaster International. Your attendance hereby discharge Toastmaster International from all claims, demands, right, promises, damages, and liability arising out of or in connection with the use or distribution of said video recordings. Okay, so for that being said, we shall begin our workshop for this evening. This Pathway Mentor Program workshop is organized by a special lady. She's fearless when it comes to trying out new things, let it be food, activities, and roles. Only this year, she has boarded onto the Toastmaster wagon, and here she is organizing her very own workshop. Please, a warm welcome to this evening workshop organizing chair, Siong, to give her opening speech. Over to you, Siong.
Hi, thank you, Elisa. Everybody, welcome on board. Do you ever wonder why there's an idiom called monkey see, monkey do? I think everyone heard of this. So monkey want to copy their role model, who is a more experienced monkey, without understanding of why the first monkey doing so. And because they don't have a systematic approach, but they have an intention. They want to learn something. They want to learn for the experienced one. In Toastmaster, no worries. We have a systematic mentoring program. Let's learn from our experienced and devoted speakers. Today, they will share the tips and guide mentoring effectively at ease. Let me pass back the mic to our story-rich TME that have found a platform and audience to share her new stories in Toastmasters. Over to you, Elisa.
Thank you, Siong, for your opening speech and your kind introduction. Without further ado, let us move to our first speaker. He has been in Toastmaster for a very long time. He will be completing his 8 years in a few months. The reason he stayed for that long is because after receiving Distinguished Toastmaster 2 times, he feels obligated to give back to the Toastmaster with his value, being our empowered and enriched. He will be delivering on a smart mentoring from Manipal University College, Malaysia. Please welcome Distinguished Toastmaster Dr. Som. Over to you, Dr. Som.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the evening, Elisa. First of all, thank you, Toastmaster Siong, for this invitation. And yes, this is something that is very close to my heart. And as you said, the values that I really carry forward is empower and enrich. Because when you get something, it's time that you give back. So I decided what could be the best thing that I could share with all of you. And for that, I thought, why not I share some experience of mentoring that I do in our club or at the club level. So for that, let me quickly share my slides. I have a couple of slides, but don't worry, it's not going to be a lecture-y stuff. So today I decided to talk about smart mentoring. It's not just smart because it's not monkey see, monkey do, that type of smart, but it is an acronym, which I will tell you in a while. So I think I've been introduced. And I belong to two clubs, that is MUCM Toastmasters Club and Alto Toastmasters Club. Alto is an online club. And the president is here. I saw Dr. Kirtana. Thank you for coming. Moving on. Today, at the end of my 20 minutes, I should be able to impart these things to all of you. A brief idea of what is coaching and what is mentoring, the SMART approach, and how do you plan a SMART approach at your club level. These are just the three things that I want to share with you. Of course, 20 minutes is not a wow time to share all these things, but we'll try to make sure that at least it's of some value and the time is worth the while. Moving on. This picture, I want all of you to look at this picture and just focus on what's happening or what's the difference. Maybe after that, I'll ask some of you to just tell me more about it. What is the difference between the two pictures? What do you see in the two pictures? Just have a look. I'll give you a few seconds. The left side, that is right side of the screen, it's a gym training. And the left side of the screen, that is my right side, is apparently looking a older gentleman holding the hand of a young individual.
The
Right.
first picture for me is coaching.
Okay.
The second picture is give a life.
Give a life. Okay.
Life.
All right. But of course, the thing is, you know that I have talked about coaching and mentoring. So if one is coaching, the other one would be a mentoring.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Anybody else? Like, that's fine. I mean, you wanted to figure out the difference. Yes. Toastmaster Thiru, you raised your hand. You're muted. Yep.
Coaching should be comforting, not
Alright.
threatening.
Okay. And now, in the picture, do you see any difference? Because that's the difference I wanted to bring out from the picture.
Do I see any difference?
Like one guy helping the lady lift the weight, another one just holding the hand as they're walking by.
Would it
Hi,
be
Prof. Can I
assuring?
try?
Sorry, Kirtana, is it?
Yeah, it's me. Sorry, I can't on my camera. That's something wrong with my camera. Can I try?
Yeah, please, please. Hang on. Before that, Toastmaster Thiru was telling something.
Just one word, assuring.
Assuring. Okay, thank you very much. Assuring. Let's hear from Kirtana.
For me, I feel the main difference in the photo is one, the girl is doing it herself, and the guy and the mentor is just helping her from the back. And the other picture is the person is actually holding your hand through it. I feel that is the main difference of it.
So which one you think is mentoring?
The one which is helping from the back. You do it yourself, but he mentors you from the back.
Okay, all right. Anybody else wants to say something? That's interesting. Okay, and the coaching, showing love, right? Thank you very much, Claire. Holding hand. No worries, I'm with you. Yes, always training, one supporting, one companionship. Okay, let me go back to the picture again. Thank you very much for your inputs. Like when we talk about mentoring and coaching, there's something we often, they're very close. As you can see, both are supporting. But the one in the gym, he's just holding the hand to prevent it from falling down. But the lady is putting all her effort. The guy is not pushing the hand up. She's doing all the effort. Whereas in this case, the holding the hand, the person may drag the person a bit forward, may pull the person a bit forward. When it comes to coaching, the coach, usually would not tell the person what to do, but they would elicit and talk to the person in a way that the person finds his or her own way. That is coaching. You want to go from point A to point B, the person would ask you, so how do you plan to go? I want to go from Malacca to TBS. How do you plan to go? I would probably say, I can take a cab, Well, I can take a bus. I don't know what else to go. Said, which one would be convenient for you? I would say maybe a bus, it's cheaper, but I need to take a Grab to go to the bus station. Say, would you consider a taxi or a cab to go? Said, that would be lovely, but it's very expensive. I think I would prefer to take a Grab and take the bus from Central to TBS. That is one. That is coaching. You help the person from going from point A to point B in life or in whatever they want to achieve. But you make the person elicit, figure out themselves what they have to do. Whereas in mentoring, there is a bit of holding hand where you tell the person, this is what I did. You share your experience with the person to facilitate a smoother journey. You give the person a GPS, say this is the direction. You go, you have to go yourself, but this is the GPS. So these are very fine differences. So when we mentor, we often share our experiences with the mentee or the protege, as they say. This helps the person to see like, okay, my mentor has done this, but he or she has done this way and shared the experience. I want to do the same thing, but I can do it differently. So this is something that the mentoring and coaching differs. It's a very minor difference, but there is difference. So many times we mistake it or we figure out differently what is mentoring and what is coaching. In Toastmasters, mainly we do mentoring. That's what we actually share. In last 8 years, I have done this, but you can do this way. We often share our experience because sometimes there are new things which the new member or the protege may not be aware of. So that's where the basic difference comes in. Coaching, you make the person figure out themselves how they would achieve what they want to achieve. Whereas in mentoring, you still help the mentee plan, but you share your experience and guide them to some extent, being the GPS for that person. Now the question comes, what is the SMART approach? I'm sure many of you know that there are something called the SMART goals. If a person wants to become a better speaker, you talk to your protege and then they say, I want to be the best speaker in the club. Now that is not a SMART goal. What I'm saying is I'm not saying it's not a smart idea, but it's not a SMART goal because that is so subjective. In SMART goal, we need to make sure it's objective. And SMART is actually an acronym. How many of you, just show me a show of hands, how many of you know what SMART stands for? Don't worry, I'm not going to quiz you. Okay, I see quite a lot of people, so I'm not going to ask you anymore. I'm going to straight go into what is SMART goals. SMART goals would be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based. So your goal, whatever you create, has to be specific. And remember, when you talk about mentoring, thank you, Jeffrey, for writing that. So whenever you want to think from Toastmaster point of view or mentoring in Toastmaster point of view, remember every term is 12 months. So once again, when you meet mentors, there is something in Toastmasters mentoring where they have a pattern of mentoring where they even specify how much time you have to mentor. So that is very specific. Measurable. Measurable, you cannot just say, I want to be a good speaker. That's not going to be measurable. What is good? You have to create something that by which you can measure. You can create something, say, as a simple thing, to become eligible to take part in international speech contest. I need to complete level 2. I need to complete level 2 that is measurable. So something that you can measure. Specific, be specific. I have to give this many speech to complete my level 2. Achievable, something is achievable. Once again, I want to be the best speaker. I want to be the good speaker. Achievable? We don't know. I want to finish level 2. That's very much achievable if you plan it well. Relevant. When we talk about Toastmaster, we are talking about relevant. I want to be a good cook as I join in Toastmasters. Now, yeah, that's one of the, I want to cook 3 dishes this weekend. That is measurable, achievable, specific. But is it relevant to Toastmasters? No, it's not. So something that should be relevant to Toastmasters. For example, as I mentioned, level 2, I want to finish. Yes, that's a good relevant point that you can use in your SMART goals. And of course, time-based. I want to finish level 2, but by when? I want to finish my level 2 by 3 months, 2 months, 4 months. That is time-based. So this one you can find in, like, you just have to Google it. You can find this is everywhere, and most of the trainers, they use this. And this is a bit of an explanation they give. Make your goals specific, narrow for effective planning. Make sure your goals and progress are measurable. Make sure you can reasonably accomplish your goals within a certain time frame. If you want to say, I want to be the best speaker, yes, you can be the best speaker in the district, but what's the time frame? So that's, and you have to plan out, break it down to achievable portions step by step. Your goal should align with the values and long-term objectives. And since we are talking about Toastmasters, we have to keep it aligned to this, which is relevant. You can create SMART goals for any aspects of your life. But since we are into Toastmasters mentoring, when you become a mentor, you have to make sure that it's aligned to the Toastmasters, and set a realistic but ambitious. You can set up ambitious, but make sure it's pragmatic and it's more practical and realistic. Don't set up like, I want to be the accredited speaker of Toastmasters International. No, set up realistic goals, because that takes a lot of preparation, a lot of effort. Is it achievable? Yes, but it takes a long time. So time-based. If we decide that you're going to mentor a member for 1 year, then it has to be time-based. Moving on, how to plan a SMART goal. At this point, I would like to ask the members, how many of you have been a mentor for new members? Okay, Bernard, Joanne. Okay, I cannot ask my co-speakers. Wilson, can you tell me, unmute and tell me, like, when you mentor, like, how do you plan? Even if you have not planned a SMART goal, how do you plan? Toastmaster Wilson.
Well, I actually have a process given by our clubs. So there are actually processes to guide the mentee during the mentorship. For example, we started with a goal. What are the mentee goals? They have to set a goal. After setting a goal, we will ask him also set a timeline for the goal. So after the timeline, then then we will basically get them to actually take action onto their goals. So this is how we actually guided them step by step.
Great, great. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Wilson. And yes, so you can see that we have to put in a time, we have to put in create goals. Now the question is, okay, I see another person say, Toastmaster, I mean, is that your name? Honor? I can see that's, I was a mentor. Yes, maybe that's the name of the device. Could you tell us more about it? Like your experience, how you made sure that you guided your or planned the goals for your mentee? Okay, maybe they would not be able to. Anybody else?
Good evening. I give my comment later. I just joined. I give my comment later.
Sure. No worries. Anybody wants to add on anything? Before I give the my view, I just want to see, because some of you have been a mentor, and you will have definitely some ideas or some improvisation skills. Before I go into the Toastmasters mentoring style, anybody? Okay, since I've seen green, I won't waste time. Let's move on. Now, when it comes to Toastmasters, first of all, to be a Toastmasters Pathways mentor, you need to at least finish level 2. Yes, that's another thing. If you want to get the credits in the Pathways mentoring, you need to finish at least level 2. And then you will come across a detailed version of how you want to mentor a new member. Now, what I would suggest is make it a short-term and a long-term goal. Short-term. When I say short-term, it just means 1 month. Number 2, long-term, make it 6 months. So plan with your mentee or protege. You can have a Zoom call, or if you're meeting physically, that's brilliant. Over a cup of tea, you can meet up somewhere and lay down the role, like all the roles, all the speech slots, everything, and ask the mentee how he or she would like to progress. But at this point, let me tell you, it is not one size that fits all, because everyone comes with a different level. Some are brilliant, some are extrovert. They come with like, yeah, I want to complete level 5. I mean, I want to take as much slots as possible outside. For them, there will be a different way to deal with them. Some will be like, I don't know, what do you suggest? They will have like very introverted. They just join Toastmasters to make sure they can stand in front of the stage and talk. For them, you have to create very realistic goals. If you say that, okay, you can do 2 speeches this 1 month, and the next 6 months, probably you can finish a few levels and done. No, in that case, you're going to discourage. Always know your protege's strengths and limitations. This is a sample I'm going to show you what I did for one member who was very interested to plan out long-term, but she is busy with work. At the same time, she's not an extrovert. She's probably, I would say, ambivert, more tilting towards introvert. So this is something that I planned for her. Like, this is March, April 2023. She said, I can deliver 1 speech, and role, I'm not sure, maybe I can do a timer role. Remember, we have 2 meetings in a month. And then I said, like, why don't you upgrade in the remaining 6 months? Remaining 6 months, said, okay, this was the goal. I can be a TTM for the meeting, and I can use that as a project. I will complete 2 more speeches from level 1. I know many of you are thinking, wow, this is pretty conservative. But yeah, considering my protege, I planned this. It is catered to that particular person. Visit a non-MUCM Toastmasters as a guest, as a role player. Now, this is like pushing her out of her comfort zone. Slowly but surely. Don't push too hard. They will crash. Do a Toastmaster of the evening role. Do evaluation for a speech in the club. Participates in table topic segment and do a grammarian role. You can see like every month they can at least do 1. This is slowly but surely move a step by step towards making her confident. It's not pushing too much. Now, this is for someone who's a introvert, also busy with work. So not too much, not too little. All in all, to start smart mentoring, you need to know what is the process of mentoring, especially pathways mentoring. After level 2, once the program comes into a dashboard, look into it. Your base camp, sorry, not dashboard. Know about SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. And finally, plan the SMART goals, keeping your protege in mind, not your strength and limitation, but your protege's strength and limitation. That's all from my side. If there's any question, I'm happy to take. Thank you, Jojo, for mentioning that. And if anyone wants to connect with me in LinkedIn, you're more than welcome. With that, thank you very much. I open the floor to questions, if there's any. Yes, great, Siong. Is there any question?
Okay, sorry, Dr. Som. We will do the question and answer session at the end of the program, if that's okay?
Yeah, that's perfect with me. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Dr. Som, for your enlightening talk. We now are able to distinguish between coaching and mentoring through your SMART method. We shall proceed to our second speaker. He has been a Toastmaster member since 1994 until now. He continued to be part of Sacred Heart Toastmaster and Sutra Utama Toastmaster because he enjoys the great camaraderie and friendship forged in Toastmaster. He will be speaking on mentoring best practices. Welcome to my very own mentor, the Innovative Planning Level 3, Toastmaster Bernard Wong. Over to you, Toastmaster Bernard Wong.
Thank you, Toastmaster Evening, Elisa Farid. Now the session is on mentoring. Mentoring is a process of helping others to achieve their personal and professional goals by providing guidance, feedback, and support. So let's look into this area of mentoring. Let's look at what is a mentor. A mentor is someone who takes special interest in helping others. So as I go through this about what is a mentor, think about yourself. If you're a mentor, if you have been a mentor, look into your role. And if not, ask yourself if you have these characteristics in you. Next, a mentor serves as a role model, as a coach as well, as earlier explained by Dr. Som, a very fine differences, as well as a confidant to the mentee.
Sorry,
and being knowledgeable.
Sorry, Bernard.
Yes.
We cannot see the slide yet.
Not able to. Okay, I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Yeah.
How the mentor is a transition of the new member into the club. Firstly, by helping the new member to learn the program, the Toastmasters program, that is the pathways. And also acquainting them with the meeting roles. And secondly, to learn the club standards and customs. For example, in a physical Toastmasters meeting, whenever we are introduced a speaker, we hand control of the meeting to the speaker with a handshake or with your palm to your bosom and a bow. So these customs have to be taught to the mentee. Next, in order to help the mentee develop greater confidence, it is important to encourage them through the efforts of the mentee when they try something new. As the mentee gets involved in more activities in a meeting, for example, taking up meeting roles, as well as enjoying the club activities, the new members gets excited about the possibilities of learning in the club. And next, with the help of the mentor, the mentee quickly learns these skills in speaking as well as in holding appointments or role plays in the meeting. Next, we will look into the benefits of mentoring to members. When you act as a mentor, how do you benefit? As a mentor, the mentees not only learn from you, but the mentor also learn from the mentees in terms of new perspectives from the new member. The mentor also remains productive by using his knowledge and skills to help a new member. Next, when you do something for others as a mentor, you receive a sense of fulfillment of being able to impart your knowledge and skills. And another benefit as a mentor is you receive recognition from your mentee, and not just the mentee, but from your fellow members who value your experience. Let's look into the benefits of mentoring to a club. Through mentoring, the club is able to gain more members because of reduced turnover, as the mentee participates in the club and that derives benefits from their speaking skills, improving their speaking skills. They will share this with their friends, and this will attract more members to the club. Next, with more satisfied members, as new members derive the benefits of mentoring, they are more confident and they are more satisfied with their membership. Therefore, they stay longer with the club. And this also improves the retention of club members, where Members who are satisfied stay on in the club, and in turn, they draw in more new members. These are the benefits of mentoring as well as the benefits of mentoring to the club. Let's look at the qualities of a mentor. What are the qualities of a mentor that will help the mentees to improve? Firstly, the mentor has to be available. This means that in the beginning, when you meet with a new member, spend time to find out from the new member what are the objectives of joining the club. Is it to improve their public speaking skills and leadership skills? What in particular are they looking forward to? By discussing these personal objectives that they have, as the mentor is able to determine what and how to guide this new member. Secondly, be patient. New members learn at different learning pace. Therefore, be patient and work with the mentee at their pace. The third point, the characteristic, is to be sensitive. Understand, be tactful in our choice of words and how we encourage the members to do certain things that can motivate them towards achieving their goals. Next is respect. One of the core values of Toastmasters. Be respectful between mentor and mentee. You have differences. Therefore, recognize those differences and accept them. The fifth characteristic is to be flexible. Not everything happens according to plan. Therefore, be adaptable to how you can work with the mentee when challenges arise. Most importantly, also, to show support, be supportive, to show support for your mentee, as well as also the club activities. And as a mentor, it's important that you be knowledgeable. Be familiar with the Pathways program, that you're able to explain it to the new member. Help the new member to complete the questionnaire in order to determine the pathways that are suitable for to meet their objectives. Get them familiar with the base camp so that they're able to navigate on their own. Therefore, to be a mentor, you need to have completed at least level 2 and to be able to register for the mentoring program and in the pathways. Be confident, be self-assured that you are able to assist the mentee. Be a good listener. Listen actively to your mentee and find out from them what is it that they want to achieve and help them towards that goal. It is important to understand their problems and how they can solve them. Let them talk, articulate their concerns and their problems, and they will be able to sort it out and find a solution. As a mentor, to have concern for others. It is when you have genuine interest to help others to improve themselves that you will be able to give your time. These are the characteristics of a good mentor. Next, I will go into the steps of mentoring. At the first meeting, when you meet with the new member, sit with them, especially in a physical meeting. If it's an online meeting, then you have to be in touch with them in the chat. Sit with them and explain to them the different parts of the meeting. Explain the prepared speeches session, the table topic session, as well as the evaluation session. And explain to them the different meeting roles to help them to be familiarized with how the meetings are conducted. Secondly, orient the new member to the standards and the customs of the club. Get them to be familiar with how to address each other at the meeting, and also to be comfortable in the club meeting setting. And thirdly, explain to them how to sign up for their icebreaker speech with the Vice President of Education And also, when taking on meeting roles, explain the meeting roles to them, and also who to contact in order to take up that role, and should they fail to conduct that role at the meeting, how to find a replacement. And this will help the new member to be confident in taking on different assignments in the meeting. And the fourth step, to help with the icebreaker speech. When I say help with the icebreaker speech, do not write the speech for the member. Instead, sit down with them and ask them, or perhaps you can share with them the steps. Because as in the pathways, there is a project checklist and how they can prepare their speech. Discuss the speech objectives of the icebreaker, and perhaps get them to practice the speech with you if they are not confident of observing their own behavior, speech behavior. Offer suggestions for speech organization and listen to the speech practice and offer feedback. The next step would be is at the next meeting, help the mentees to be aware of the different resources available on the Toastmasters platform, where they can watch videos on different presentations, as well as get ideas for their speeches. Discuss the different district officer, the district conferences, encouraging them to attend these conferences, and explain club officer roles so that they are aware of how the club officers conduct the club administration. Secondly, provide positive feedback to the new member, especially in the first month of their membership, when they have delivered their icebreaker and have performed certain assignments. Offer them feedback on how they can elevate their performances. Explain the responsibilities of membership. That is not just giving speeches, but also giving evaluations, but also to serve in the club committees, in the education committee, subcommittee, in the public relations subcommittee. These are, or in membership subcommittee. These are some of the roles that they can play. Help with their speeches and assignment to ensure that they're able to prepare their speeches independently and with some guidance and advice from you to be able to perform their roles at the meeting in the role plays. Offer them tips and advice. Over time, you'll be able to tell how they have benefited, or rather how you have benefited from this, your own Toastmasters journey, and they will be able to emulate your example. Invite the mentee to other events in the area or in the division. Acknowledge their progress at the club meeting so that they are encouraged and they are motivated. As I mentioned earlier, explain the officer duties clearly to them so that they will be encouraged and motivated to serve in the club officer roles. Next, explain the speech contest, how the club conducts 2 contests in the term, and the various contests, as well as the rules and objectives of the speech contest. Encourage them and help them to prepare for this speech contest. And finally, for the qualities of the mentee, you need to be loyal to your mentor. Do not betray their trust. Be receptive. Be eager to learn from your mentor. And be open to new ideas, to listen to different perspectives offered by your mentor. And be grateful to a mentor for they have given their time and commitment to invest in this mentor-mentee relationship. A mentor and mentee relationship is a finite relationship. It does not last forever. It should not be also, because the role of the mentor is to help the mentee to be able to think for themselves independently and also to act independently and successfully. As the mentee has attained a certain level of competency, they may no longer need the mentor's help, and they will move on using that knowledge and skills that they have acquired to mentee other new members. And the mentor and mentee continue this warm relationship at the club, as well as to be able to forge new mentorships with other members. This is an opportunity for members to use their knowledge and skills to experience this benefit of mentorship, and also to learn from others, and ultimately to be able to help the club retain its members and draw new members. With that, I encourage all club members to take up this challenge, as it has many rewards and offers you a lot of opportunities. Thank you for your attention. Over to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bernard, for your exposure on the benefits of being a mentor. Surely from this talk, many members are more confident into embarking into the mentorship journey. So for our final speaker, she is currently a member of Sutra Utama Toastmaster. She has been in Toastmaster family Sorry for the connection. Okay, so last but not least, our final speaker. She's currently a member of Sutra Utama Toastmaster. She has been in Toastmaster family for at least 6 years. She finds Toastmaster as an opportunity to learn, grow, and strive as a speaker, communicator, and a leader. Allow me to introduce Leadership Development Level 5 Toastmaster Joanne Lim. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the evening, Alyssa. A very warm welcome and good evening to everyone in this room. In this session, we are going to learn a tool to measure your mentee's pathway progression. Ladies and gentlemen, the number one question that I've always gotten from people who are preparing to be a mentor is that, how do I know? How do I guide my mentee to progress through their pathway when I myself have not even tried all the 11 paths? This is a very good question, isn't it? One day, your mentee comes to you saying that, I am in dynamic leadership path and now I'm in level 2. I'm stuck on this project. I need your help. But here you are taking on another path. You have no idea what dynamic leadership path is all about, and you have no idea how to guide them through the project. What would you do as a mentor? In Toastmasters, do you need to attempt all 11 paths in order to be qualified to be a mentor? What do you think? Yes or no? Y for yes and for no, please type in the chat box. Do you think that you have to try all 11 paths to be qualified enough to guide other people on their path? I'm seeing an obvious answer, a no. If we want a person to be qualified to be a mentor, to try all 11 paths, I can tell you, none of us here could be a mentor. Dr. Som maybe, I'm not sure. Okay, so in earlier session, you have learned from Dr. Som how to draw a SMART goal with your mentee. And in Bernard's session, you have learned the A to Z on how to be a good mentor. And now in my session, you are going to learn a guidance, a tool for you to help to guide your mentee better. Disclaimer, the resources that I'm going to share with you in this workshop is not TI endorsed. It is not issued by TI. It is not approved by TI. Rather, it is just a mere guidance and reference for you to refer to. It is a courtesy of Musashi Urawa Toastmasters Club in Japan. Now, this is the resource. Very busy slide, I know. It's loading. Okay, can you see my screen? Very busy slide. But let me break it out with you, and you will find these tools so very helpful to guide your mentee through their pathway progression. Because a mentee, a Toastmasters in their club, a lot of times they want to advance and they want to, this is the education system that they are progressing towards. In order to be able to equip with what pathway is all about in all 11 paths, this is the resources you might find handy. First of all, you can see here 11 paths, and there are 5 levels. This is the updated pathway guidance after the 2021 level 1 update. Remember last time we only had icebreaker, evaluation and feedback, and research and presenting in level 1. After 2021, they've updated it for a bit, and this is the updated one. If you see gray color in R, it means it is a required project to be completed in that particular path. So let's take one of the paths as example. Let's see the first one, DL, Dynamic Leadership, right? In level 1, there are 4 gray R, which means there are 4 required projects for that member to be completed. Move on to level 2 in blue. There are 3 blue R, which means 3 required projects for mentee to be completed. So today, if your mentee comes to you, Jojo, and tell me that, Joanne, I want to complete level 2 in 2 years, my long-term goal, right? And what you're going to do, you're going to tell your mentee that in 2 years, they're going to have 4 projects for you to complete level 2. And how do you plan that? 7 speeches in 2 years. How many meetings do we have in a year? At least 12, or some club, if you have meeting every fortnightly, you're going to have 24 meetings in a year. Quick math, 6 speeches in 24 meetings. How often do you need to deliver a speech? My math is bad, so I definitely need someone to enlighten me in the chat box. 24 meetings, 7 speeches. Every 3 to 4 meetings, they need to do 1 speech. So that's how you could guide member with this resource. 2 years, 2 levels, which means 3 to 4 meetings, give a speech, right? It's easier to navigate through the lower level, like level 1 and 2. Moving on to level 3, where you have electives kicking in. If you see orange E, which means in that project, they can choose that project as an elective. So if you look at dynamic leadership in particular, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 electives to choose from, with 1 required project to be completed in level 3, which is negotiate the best outcome. Do you see how this tool could be helpful for you? Font is still very small. Okay, let me enlarge it for a bit. Yeah, is that better now? Okay, I'm talking about the first path here, dynamic leadership. 4 gray in level 1, which means 4 required project. 3 blue R in level 2 means 3 required project. 15 E in level 3 in orange, which means 15 to choose from, and 1 R, 1 required project. And if you can see on the left-hand side, the bar here, right? Take level 3 as example. All 11 paths need to do 1 required project, 1 R, and 2 E, 2 elective project. Same scenario, if my mentee, Alyssa, come to me saying that, Joanne, I'm ambitious that I could advance to level 3 in 2 years. Level 3 in 2 years. So what I'm going to tell her, you will have 4 speeches in level 1, 3 speeches in level 2, that's 7, right? 1 required in level 3 and 2 elective in level 3 as well. Altogether, 4, 3, and 3, that would be 10 speeches. for Elisa to complete her level 3 in dynamic leadership within 2 years. So 24 meetings, 10 speeches. How many speeches she will need to do in how often does she need to conduct one speech? Quick math. 24 meetings, 10 speeches. In every 2 to 3 meetings, she will need to do a speech. So this is a tool for all the mentor to guide your members through their pathway. You don't need to try that. Don't need to attempt the path yourself, but you need to know what is there in that path. Let's move on to right-hand side of this sheet. You will be able to see an overview of what that project is all about. For example, icebreaker. Icebreaker, it is a 4 to 6 minute speech of any topic to introduce yourself. It can be humorous, informational, and etc. If you need to give a quick guidance to your to your mentee about what that speech is about, come to this and look for the outline. One of the projects in Toastmasters is called active listening. It is required for the member to play the role of table topics master. And here's the description outline here. Demonstrate your ability to listen to what others say by serving as topics master and comment on each speaker's table topic speech. So again, disclaimer, this is not endorsed by PI. This is merely a resource come out by a Toastmasters club in Japan to help us to have a good overview, a glance on all the projects available. Now, this is very complex. It might look very busy and complicated. Let me share with you what is a simpler tool for your member or for yourself to manage and navigate through your project. I will share all these resources with the organizing committee so you can get a copy from them. You can see at the bottom tabs here, there are 11 paths in total. Taking leadership development, LD, as example, there is a breakdown, there is an overview for this path only, instead of like a complex all 11 path overview. This is a breakdown by each path. So let's say if your mentee comes to you, going to attempt the leadership development path, you can go straight into this tab and look at how many speeches are there to be completed in each level. And what are the projects? R again means required. E is an elective. So level 1, 3 required, level 2, 3 required, and the list goes on. This tool also allows your mentee to key in the date when they have performed the speech, what are the speech titles, where they have presented the speech in the home club or in other clubs, and a brief description of each project. With that, I've come to the end of my sharing. I will share the overview of all the 11 paths to you, as well as this sheet. So when you have a mentee that would like to embark on their pathway, they are lost, they have no idea what to do, you have no idea how to guide them properly, this is the tool for you. Thank you, and back to Elisa.
Thank you, Toastmaster Joanne, for sharing with us the practical tool on mentoring the pathway progression. Surely an icing on the cupcake for the other approaches given by our previous panelists. So now we can go straight into the question and answer session. We are short on time, so first question is to Dr. Som. Quickly, what is your suggestion on how we could monitor proteges' progression with the short and long-term goal we have drawn with them? Thank you, Dr. Som.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the evening. With regards to that, what we can do is we can, like when we have meetings with the mentor and mentee, we can actually schedule a meeting with mentor and mentee. You don't have to have like, every week and all that. You can have once in a month after the end of the short-term goals, and you can have one in the middle of the long term, or it depends on, like, if you feel that the mentee is not doing as well or missing out meetings, then you can always plan it a bit, say 1 to 2 months. And because the long-term goal is 6 months, so you can break the timing and do accordingly. Also remind that there is something called, actually I said SMART goals, there's something called SMARTer goals, that ER, where you evaluate and reward. So also do tell them about the mentee, the good things that can come for completing their goal, or share with them experiences from your other mentees that when they have completed a certain number of goals, what kind of reward they have got. So when we talk about follow-up, we would change from SMART to SMARTer. Use an evaluation. You decide the time with your mentee when you want to do that. It's all customized to that person. It's not one size fits all. And finally, reward. You can, at the end of the session, you can say, okay, that's great. Let's celebrate. Always, I believe, always celebrate your mini victories. You don't have to wait till you get your level 5 or DTM. One level complete, you want to go out with your mentee for a cup of coffee or celebrate for a lunch, dinner, go for it. So that's my way of dealing with it. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, Dr. Som. So a second question we have for Bernard. Bernard, sometimes mentees may have numerous questions about their role, and if the mentor lacks of experience, it can pose a challenge. In such situation, what should be done? Is it advisable to instruct the mentee to directly approach the person in charge? Over to you, Bernard.
Thank you, Elisa, for that question. Yes, if the mentor is overwhelmed with the questions and unable to answer them, perhaps he may direct the mentee to the Vice President of Education or another mentor who is able to assist this mentee to answer those questions. Does that answer your question?
No, it says that if they don't have the experience, how would you give the advice to that mentor to instruct the mentee?
How to advise the mentor? Perhaps to seek help from the Vice President of Education of the club. If the club officer can assist, that would be good. Otherwise, seek another mentor's help in order to answer those questions that the mentees have. Okay,
perfect. I think that answers the questions. Thank you, Bernard. And we have a question for Joanne. Which pathway is compulsory to HPL?
Very good questions. There are, if I'm not mistaken, 4. I had this question by my president when I was the VPE to test me if he's in the room. I'm not sure if these questions came from you, but okay, let me get that with my tool. Right? Okay. HPL is a level 5 project. So for HPL, it is R for required, right? Required by effective coaching, innovative planning, persuasive influence, as well as, okay, my bad, 3. Effective coaching, innovative planning, persuasive influence. So again, this tool could be handy if you are asked a question like that. Thank you, Elisa.
Thank you, Joanne, for that answer. Back to you, Dr. Song. We have another question for you.
Sure.
I can see that your mentee has almost taken up the role. Have you listed down the role player list for your mentee? And how will they know what they need to do?
Listed down the role player list as in?
Yes, this is a question from our guest. She asked that your mentee has almost taken up a lot of your role in your slides. And then have you listed down the role player list for your mentee? For example, if you have a mentee and then you list down all the role player, and how will they know what they need to do?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. Now, when we plan this, we are not going to look into it that what if I cannot fulfill 100%. So we are not going to fit in everything like this month, this, that month, this. We will say, like, put in the dates per se and slot in, because our meetings don't happen like speech slots. Yes. In our club, 2 months, the speech slots are filled up. 2 months before. That means when I start now, August and September, the speed slots are filled up. So now moving on. So I don't like pressurize the mentee to, okay, this date, this date, this date. I will say which date is convenient for you, because I believe Toastmaster is not your life, it's part of your life. So if we fix the date, we are pressurizing. We give them the choice to fit in the dates according to their convenience, because many of them are working, and the example that I gave you on my screen was actually another doctor in my college. So she has her set of work, so she may not be able to commit to if that particular, but we will say, okay, at least 80 to 90% of whatever goals you have put in there must be fulfilled. So the plan was to meet after 1 month to see if she has done those 2 roles, and those 2 roles, then after that, plan in small amounts, like next 2 months, what are you planning to do? Next 2 months, what you're planning to do in small portions. So break down the 6 months into smaller portions so that it becomes easy. And no, not going to put in the dates on that far ahead, but maybe break down to smaller portions. Some months may be good months, some months maybe absolutely no, couldn't even come for the meeting. It depends. That's why I keep on saying customize it to your prodigy, because if you push too much, you're going to create a very bad rapport, and the person may actually leave because say, I cannot cope up with Toastmasters. So when being a mentor, you should also analyze the person's strengths and limitations. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sanders. Very empowering. Bernard, and one question, interesting question we have for you is that the questioner asked if he or she is elected as a mentor, but is too of an introvert. How would he or she go about to do it?
The mentee has selected a mentor, and the mentor is introverted.
Yeah, the mentor is selected to be a mentor, and the mentor is an introvert. How should he or she approach this?
Okay, thank you for the question. It's most important for the mentor to evaluate his own characteristics. Is he willing and committed to take on the role as a mentor to a new member? And also to consider whether he's available. As mentioned earlier, the mentor has to show concern, a genuine concern and interest for the mentee. But if he is not prepared to serve, then he ought not take up the role. I believe even though he's introverted, if he's genuinely and sincerely wish to help a new member, he may be able to overcome that being an introvert in order to help someone else. It all depends on their desire as well as how they would like to approach this mentoring program with the new member. Therefore, the Vice President of Education, when assigning mentor, ought to speak to the mentor and find out if he or she is prepared to serve. Over to you,
Okay.
Elisa.
Thank you. Just a follow-up question from there. There's a question where they ask, like, how are mentors and mentees be matched? Do you think they should be matched personally in terms of character-wise, or we should do it randomly?
I believe the Vice President of Education has a very unenviable task to match mentors and mentees. Usually it is based on which members are available to be mentors. There again, who are those who are qualified in terms of having completed level 2 to serve in the mentoring program and to be able to assist the new member. The matching, it may not be perfect at the beginning because the Vice President of Education has only limited information from the mentor as well as the mentee, but they will, the VP, I was a VP previously, I will speak to both the mentor and the mentee to seek their views on how they would be able to work together. If they are a good match, then put them together. If it doesn't work well in the first month, then it is incumbent upon the mentor or the mentee to be open and share this concern or challenges that they have in order to help the Vice President of Education to be able to find another person who can serve as the mentor to the mentee. Over to you.
Thank you, Bernard. That was very good. Just to wrap the question and answer session, quick question. If we can have a quick one question for each of the panelists. We can start with Dr. Som. The last question is that what is one piece of advice you can share to those who are embarking into this mentorship role?
If I say that, if one piece of advice is, actually I have two pieces of advice, but if I say one piece of advice, you should build a relationship. Even though I know Bernard specifically wrote that nothing lasts forever, something like that, but when you create a relationship, so that helps in the long run for understanding. That definitely helps long run. And when a mentor and mentee comes together, you must know each other's limitations. Now, when I'm saying each other's limitation, a mentee also must know what is the mentor's limitation as well. The mentor can also say that, okay, I can guide you up to this. Beyond this is not possible for me. Maybe you want to look for someone who's like specialized in this to help you further. So the mentor's role is to make sure that they hold their hand of the mentee, take them through a journey and build a relationship. So even after a few years, even though they are not mentor-mentee anytime, like based on Toastmasters, they end up as friends. Now that friendship should last forever. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, Dr. Som. Bernard, same question to you. One piece of advice you could share to those new mentors. Over to you.
I would encourage you to take that opportunity and face the challenges, experience them, the challenges, so that you will know how much you have benefited through your own Toastmasters journey, and to be able to impart your knowledge and skills to a new member in helping a new person to be comfortable in the club and to also achieve their personal goals in terms of communication and leadership skills. It is something that gives you great pleasure, a great sense of fulfillment, which you can enjoy and reap the benefit of being recognized for your efforts. That is the intrinsic reward that no one can take away from you. Over to you, Elisa.
Thank you, Bernard. That was so good. Joanne, our final speaker, same question. What is that one piece of advice you want to share to all of us in regard to being a mentor? Joanne, over to you. Is Joanne still in?
She's dropped off from the call.
Okay, I think Joanne is not in, but nevertheless, never mind. Thank you all thank you all the panelists for this. Sorry, is Joanne in? No. Okay, never mind. At least we get 2 out of 3. Two piece of advices at least. To end our session for tonight, we will have a appreciation session. So for our first appreciation, we will invite Dr. Som. Thank you for your talk on smart approach tonight. If we can have the Zoom master to take a photo.
Yes, good evening, everybody. Just now I had a membership sharing, right? They just want to say I'm a lecturer in a college. So normally my students, I'm the mentor for them. But I don't have a piece of advice here. We can't bring the feudalism here. You must treat every student as your friends. And they mustn't have a gap. If they have a gap, then they will find difficulties to come and share with us. That's how I do practice.
Thank you.
Okay, everyone, please get ready. Claire, can you lower your hand?
Okay, so can we have...
Okay, one. Okay, done. Done.
Thank you very much, Siong, for the
Okay.
invitation.
Next. Thank you.
And congrats to Dr. Soma and
Thank you, Dr.
Mr.
Som.
Bernard.
For our next appreciation, can we have Bernard Wong? Thank you, Bernard, for your amazing talk for tonight.
One, two, three. Oh, sorry, Elisa, I can't see you. Elisa. Okay, one more time. So, okay, one, two, three. Okay, done.
Thank you, Organizing Chair Siong Huey Ping, for that certificate.
Thank you, Bernard. Do we have the next appreciation we will give to Joanne? Do we have Joanne online?
Yep, I'm back. I'm sorry.
Perfect, Joanne. So you're right on time. Thank you. So a gift of appreciation for you.
Thank you.
Okay, let me add the spotlight. Sorry, yeah. Okay, one, two, three. Okay, done.
Thank you, Joanne. So now next we will also give a certificate of appreciation to the committee members. First, we will have our organizing chair, Siong Huey Ping herself, for organizing her first event.
Okay, one, two, three. Okay.
Okay, next is myself for being the Toastmaster of the evening.
Okay, ready? One, two, three. Okay, done.
Thank you, Siong, for this opportunity. Next, we will have Claire Tan, who is the timer for this evening.
Okay, ready? One. Small. Okay, one, two, three. Okay, done.
Okay, next we should go to Jojo Tay for being the Zoom master of the evening.
Thank you. Okay, one, two, three. Done.
We have Yves Tan, who is the advisor of the evening. I'm not sure if he's online, Yves.
He's not online.
Okay. Okay, he's not online. Okay, so anyway, that's a wrap for the appreciation session. Next, if we can have a quick photography session, can everyone turn on their cameras so that we can have a very nice group photos for this program?
Okay, everyone, please turn on the video. Yes. Ready? Okay, Peter, Mr. Tan, Yahweh, Teo, cool. We are waiting for you all. Okay, Sophia also. Okay, get ready. Put up your thumbs up. Okay, one, two, three. Okay, done.
Okay, thank you, Zoom Masters. So I think that's all from me from the evening. I will pass back to our organizing chair, Siong, to wrap up her final speech. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, TME Elisa. First of all, I need to thank Dr. Som, Bernard, and also Joanne as our speakers tonight, and also our role plays team. The event is going through successfully. And to wrap up is being a mentor is rewarding. That's what Dr. Som and Bernard sharing. Through the experience sharing, a mentor will have a new level of understanding of the subject and also self-discovery, whether it's introvert or extrovert. Through the mentor and mentee relationship, you will learn how to communicate better, because you need to deliver the message. When you do it for yourself, and when you want to deliver the message and ask another person to do, this is another level of communication, because a receiver have different understanding and have different concept and perception. So every different type of mentee you have different type of approach to approach them. So this is a new level of understanding for yourself and also communication skill improvement. So most important thing is you can get a very rewarding job with mentorship in Pathway, to see the new member join in, and when they success to organize an event, or they get a triple crown, or they become a DTM in the future. Okay, put into the practice for the tips and the guidelines from our panel speakers, and enjoy your mentorhood journey. That's all. Back to you, TME. Yeah, the program is end. Thanks for joining the guests and the members. So our event will end now. Yes, thanks for joining.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you,
Good night, Jing
everyone.
Che.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Thank you, everyone.
See you guys again.
Thank you so much. Good night.
Thank you.
Committee have to.
Stay down for a while.
Yes, committee.
Thank you, Lisa. Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night,
Thank
Melanie. Thank you for coming, Melanie.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. We appreciate it.
Please do contact me back. Yeah, I'd like to join the.
Light 'em up, tell me where you were, tell me where you were. Summer nights, bright lights, and the shooting stars, they break my heart. Calling you now, but you're not picking up.
I think
Thank you, everyone.